Scuzați-mă că nu mi se vede facecam-ul, dar dacă mă uit la un video și uitați, dacă ies de pe full screen, uite abia acum mi se vede facecam-ul, dar dacă intru înapoi pe full screen, dispare facecam-ul. Nu știu dacă și la voi dispare, cel puțin la mie îmi dispare facecam, nu știu dacă și la voi dispare. Cred că din titlu nu ați înțeles, fiindcă l-am pus foarte lung și cred că v-a apărut cu puncte. Dacă vedeți aici, if you were not filmed, no one believe it. Dacă nu erau aceste momente, dacă nu erau filmate, nimeni nu credea. Deci, haideți să vedem ce momente pot fi atât de super sau periculoase sau care încât nimeni să nu creadă dacă nu erau filmate. Haideți să-i dăm drumul. L-am dat la multe de tot.
Gentlemen, Sevilla.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Pues stai sopra,
Oh my god.
Everybody's
Oh,
on.
everybody alright?
Good to go.
stai schiavo. Cum se poate?
I got it all, dude. I'm right behind you, dudes. I got it all.
What?
Hey! Hey, bud!
Okay, boy. Yeah. Está fixado în apă. Oh my god. Da, pe ăsta știu. Ce burtă ea. Ea și elegantă. Cea cu gante e mult mai mică. Doamne, ce sună că bagă. La buca la câine de gură.
Copilia?
Cred că e chineză la ia. Că din toate venii cade sau ceva. Da, e am sigur. Bă, dacă m-a căzut, frate. Deci că nu și uitați-vă și văd cum m-am băgat de belușul. Și ce muzică am băgat. Se conduce prin telecomandă. Oh my god, m-a ridicat pătura. Oh my god, alien is coming. Ok. O să vreau să văd în spate. Să nu în spate, atât de șmecher. Cinci moments, uite ăsta, 5 moments. Aoleu, mi-a dat reclamă la page.
must destroy.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Spacebound. In today's video, we're going to be looking at incredible moments that you wouldn't believe if they weren't recorded, from insane animal encounters to incredibly heartwarming stories. You are going to love this video, and if you do enjoy the video in the slightest, please make sure to leave a like, as of course it does help us out a lot more than you think. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Shark riders. Look, we have sprinkled in some pretty crazy animal clips throughout the video, but I doubt that you'd expect people to ride sharks at any moment of this video. Well, that's exactly what these two daredevils of course do. I'd go as far as to call this man the Lion Whisperer. What he's doing is truly beautiful and honestly shocking. Kevin Richardson is living one of the coolest lives on earth. Seriously, you are going to want to watch this clip right here, because if this stuff wasn't filmed, having a guy hanging out with lions in the wild would seem absolutely ridiculous.
Would come up. And they'd be...
Aici doar explică, adică nu zice... New death animal... Okay, how about mention it? Realmente există. Instant calma. Prodigious great white. Cred că acest video s-a transformat din reacționez la momente de-astea, dacă nu era filmat în nimeni, credea, cred că s-a transformat în 5 locuri de pe pământ care nu există gravitație. Ok, să-l vedem pe ăsta.
We might all take this one thing for granted, but it's what keeps our feet on the ground and our head out the clouds. Yet gravity is the force responsible for keeping us on Earth and not floating off into space. However, there are some places in the world where gravity appears to have stopped working. From mind-blowing magnetic hills to strange upside-down waterfalls, today we're bringing you the 15 places on Earth where gravity doesn't seem to work.
This looks like the top of the hill.
Dacă nu înțelegeți engleza, acum dacă filmam vlogul ăsta de pe telefon, cred că puteam să pun o traducere.
Right? And this looks like the bottom. Wrong. It's the other way around, actually.
Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Missing Files, and click the notification bell for the best daily videos. Mystery Spot. This weird and wacky house in Santa Cruz, United States, has a gravity-defying secret. Supposedly built over a mysterious non-gravity zone in the 1930s, this unusual property promised all visitors a life-changing trip that would alter their perception of the world. Now, while it may seem that you're standing straight and upright on a tilted floor, and that a ball magically rolls upwards, the house's physique-bending secret might actually be in the design. Yet this tourist attraction is actually a cleverly designed optical illusion. This house is more a trick of the mind than a force against nature, and the structure and its interior was built on a slant. Now, you're not actually tilted in the building, but rather the whole building itself is tilted. Add some sneaky furnishings and design features in the house, and it sure looks like everything is upside down when it isn't. These mystery spots became super popular during the Great Depression in the United States, when all industries were either struggling or going bust. The entertainment industry survived and thrived during this time, leading to these odd wonders popping up all over the country. Have you ever visited one of these famous attractions? And now it's time for our missing topic. Yeah, we found an image so curious and intriguing, we just had to ask you guys all about it. While we can't find any information on this shocking picture, we really want to know exactly what's going on in here. A woman appears to be balancing this enormous rock on her back as it's rested precariously on the ground with no support. Could this stone really be leaning at such an angle by itself? Of course not. Join the conversation and tell us what you think. Is going on here by using the hashtag #MissingTopic in the comments. Is it gravity defying or just a great illusion? The Crooked Forest. This crazy-looking forest in Poland is famous for its bizarre and bendy trees, while the vast majority of the forest is inhabited by straight-standing pine trees. For some reason, around 400 trees sharply twist in a semicircle, and nobody can say for sure if it's the weather, an effect.
Voi vedeți că în primul rând copacii au acele turpini pe care le axă văzut. Și în voi vedeți cum se mișcă aici copacii.
Of war, or whether people grew them that way. These crooked trees are bent from their base upwards at a creepy 90-degree angle, and they look totally out of place compared to the rest of the forest. So what on earth happened here? Well, experts have been baffled by this weird phenomenon for decades. Some theories include a unique pocket of gravity that contorted the trees. However, scientists seem to have dismissed this idea. Other experts think that the tanks from the war ran over the trees as saplings, causing the damage to the base. But that seems unlikely when the rest of the pine stand up completely normally. The best explanation so far seems to be that people deliberately manipulated the trees to grow this way in order to use the trunks for timber in the bases of ships and boats. Maybe we will never know for sure what really happened to the Crooked Forest, but what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments. Golden Rock Pagoda. In Burma, there sits a temple that is one of the country's holiest sites. But is it divine intervention that keeps it standing? According to legend, the ginormous golden rock is held up on the cliff face by a single strand of Buddha's hair. Obviously, this gravity-defying balancing act is an awesome sight, and the thousands of visitors that pay their respects every year travel from all over the world to catch a glimpse at the marvelous natural wonder. The Chaityo Pagoda is an important pilgrimage site for Buddhists, and this giant rock is perched on the side of a sheer rock face with no apparent physical explanation for its position. How has this rock remained perfectly balanced here? Nobody seems to know, and that has only affirmed the faith of its religious worshippers over the years. Chaityo means pagoda upon a hermit's head.
În geanta Glovo, încape orice vrei tu, sushi gustos și un film în premieră sau tot ce ai nevoie pentru o aniversare. Comandă prin Glovo. Glovo, lasă-ți comanda în seama noastră.
In the ancient Mon language, in reference to the fact that the golden stone is believed to be held up by a hair that Buddha gave as a gift to the hermit. So, have you visited this amazing landmark? How do you think this rock has perched here without rolling off the edge? Mount Arrogance. We can't believe our eyes, but in Armenia, there's a mountain which defies all logic. Gravity works in mysterious ways here, and its insane qualities have started to attract tourists, news teams, and popular YouTubers like Nas Daily. At Mount Arrogance, uphill and downhill seem to be in reverse, and cars can magically roll upwards by themselves and even accelerate too. It may sound like something straight out of a
Wow, cică dacă apeși pe celălalt, cică dacă pe strada asta apeși pe celălalt, și o mașină merge în spate, dacă apeși pe... și dacă dai ambreiaj să meargă în spate, ea merge în față. Wow! Eu nu mă duc unde, nu știu dacă chiar ambreiaj să nu este chestia când se dai în spate, dar sunt copil și nu mă poliție pe la mașină. Vă dați seama.
science fiction movie, but all the proof is right there. This weird gravity-defying place really exists. The water there even flows upwards instead of downwards, baffling scientists who have headed to the weird mountain for answers. One physicist, Onik Kachatrian, told reporters his theory gravity should be directed towards the Earth's core, but there are distortions of gravity that we can observe here. This anomalous zone, I think, is connected with the distortion of the gravitational field. So what do you guys think? Is this mysterious anomalous zone where normal rules don't apply? We have no idea what's going on at this spooky and mind-bending mountain. Reverse waterfall, Faroe Islands. In the Faroe Islands, you can catch a glimpse of a rare but naturally occurring phenomenon, a reverse waterfall. That's right. On this small northern island, the water really flows upside down. So what causes this incredible act? Well, strong Arctic winds formed a rare sea vortex, which whipped the water into a spiraling funnel. The water tornado splashed waves back on top of the cliff, creating a truly spectacular sight. This awe-inspiring moment was caught on camera when Sammy Jacobson was out filming nature at the 1,500-foot sea cliff, and he was thrilled to have caught this fantastic force of nature on his sister's iPhone 11. We think this gravity-defying incident is truly awesome. But what do you think? Devil's Tower, USA. This stunning natural landmark was declared the United States' first national monument in 1906, and scientists can't explain how and why it rose up out of the ground, considering it's just in the middle of fields. It's even been described as looking like it's made from a bunch of pencils held up by gravity, and experts can't figure out why this enormous peak is the only formation of its kind in the area, surrounded by flat.
Dacă te uiți de la distanță, se vede că e foarte mare și când te apropii, se vede că e de fapt foarte mic.
At planes. Think you recognize this towering formation from somewhere? Well, if you're a science fiction fan, you may have seen it before. The Devil's Tower is so freaky that it was even featured in the supernatural Hollywood blockbuster Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We can see why they use this unusual location, because it certainly looks like an alien landing pad. But this ancient landmark isn't just a set from a movie. No, this staggering natural wonder is a sacred place to the Northern Plains tribes. It's known by many traditional names, such as Bear's Tippy, Tree Rock, and Bear Lodge. And the awesome tower is home to many important ceremonies and rituals. While it is closed part of the year to honor and respect these traditions, the Devil's Tower is also very popular with rock climbers who scale the 1,267-foot Wyoming Rock. Would you dare take a trip up to the Devil's Tower? The Hoover Dam. The famous Hoover Dam in the United States has a very mysterious quality indeed. It was built between 1931 and 1936 in order to supply electrical power to California. But something insane happened in the process. Yeah, visitors to the Nevada Dam are certainly in for a shock when they realize the true gravity-defying nature of the massive structure. When these tourists conducted
apa se duce în sus. În jos.
Their own experiment at the Hoover Dam, they noticed a very odd occurrence. When they poured a water bottle over the edge of the gigantic wall, the liquid poured upwards rather than down the dam. We all know that gravity dictates that water should flow downwards and
Cred că v-ați dat seama că apa s-a dus în sus. Arăta acolo.
not upwards. So what on earth is going on at America's largest reservoir? Turns out that the answer is pretty simple. The draft at the 725-foot structure is so strong and powerful that it actually causes water to blow back up, defying gravity itself. Pretty cool, huh? Definitely worth a visit if you're ever on vacation in nearby Las Vegas. Dokkaebi Road, South Korea. This mysterious road on Jeju Island has a totally horrifying backstory. Could it be that water and cars flow uphill here because of the thousands of ghosts from the island's bloody history? Tens of thousands of the island's citizens were killed by troops just before the Korean War. Scars of the tragedy still run deep on the island, and besides the airport's main runway, a mass grave was found that contained 388 bodies. This highly haunted location is said to be home to nimeni, which means water ghost in Korean. These spooky specters are said to linger in the Jeju Sea and can even haunt bathtubs in people's homes. They are reported to be wearing constantly wet clothes, as well as having unnaturally long arms that will drag you down to a watery grave.
Da. Poate ciudățeni. Ia, hai să vedem cum e.
And brutal winds made an entire waterfall on the Talisker Beach on the Isle of Skye flow backwards into the air. Now, Talisker Bay may be well known for its world-famous Scotch whiskey, but now it's gone viral.
Asta e un fel de nu știu, eu așa o văd, un fel de cascală care se duce acolo în sus, așa, în engleză și nu ca înțeleg.
For its freaky waterfall. Who would have thought it? We'd also heard that the Scottish weather was pretty extreme, but now we've seen the proof. In this kind of weather, we'd want to take shelter indoors, but photographer Chris Martin, not the Coldplay singer as far as we know, shot this footage of the weird and wonderful waterfall for the world to see. We hope he had his umbrella with him at the time. Magnetic Hill. There's something strange taking place on this hill in Moncton, New Brunswick in Canada.
Iarăși reclamă.
Since the 1930s, curious tourists have flocked to the so-called Magnetic Hill to see its mysterious wonder. Yeah, this is the place where cars roll uphill and water trickles upwards, defying all gravity. Visitors to this phenomenal spot can take their foot off the brake in the car and experience an extremely weird sensation of rolling backwards up a hill. How can this be? Well, the most likely explanation is that it could be an example of the gravity hill concept. A gravity hill is a place where the layout of the surrounding land produces an optical illusion, making a slight downhill slope appear to be an uphill slope. One of the many features of a gravity hill is a completely or mostly obstructed horizon. Pretty fascinating, right? But did you know that there are hundreds of these mysterious gravity hills all over the world? What a weird planet we live on. We want to know if you've been lucky enough to visit one of these anti-gravity spots, and have you ever seen one of these logic-defying wonders in action? Tell us all about it in the comments below. Kinder River. This beautiful and breathtaking waterfall in England does something truly remarkable. If you're willing to take a brisk and exhausting hike up the peat bogs and rough terrain of the Peak District, you'll be rewarded with the sight of a gravity-defying waterfall where the water flows backwards. The pools and river and the surrounding area around the falls even are a haunting red color that kind of look like blood. Yikes! So what's going on this spooky peak? Is it a mythical place of interest steeped with old British folklore? Well, yes, but there's also a very logical explanation for this freaky phenomenon. The formation of the peaks in this area of astounding natural beauty can occasionally whip up a super strong wind that makes the water flow backwards up over the hill, spraying hikers at the top of the mountain. Wow, this really is quite amazing. Would you ramble up this steep trail to get a peek at a backwards waterfall? Cyclops Hill. At the ominous magnetic hill in Ladakh, India, all kinds of strange and supernatural things seem to occur. According to local legend, there's an unnaturally strong magnetic pull that causes cars to roll away, and reportedly even aircraft that fly too close to the ground to spiral out of control. Villagers in the area close to the baffling hill also believe that there once was a road that led people straight to heaven. Those that were worthy would be pulled closer, and those that don't deserve heaven would never make it over the road. We don't know about you, but this legendary hill in Ladakh sounds like something straight out of the plot of the hit TV show Lost. The famous hill sits at an altitude of 14,000 feet and attracts many visitors from across the globe to check out the unexplainable magnetism of Cyclops Hill. Aircraft are said to even fly at higher altitude when passing over this notorious landmark in order to avoid the magnetic interference. Whoa, this bizarre place is really something. We want to see it for ourselves. Vibrations and sound waves. This gravity-defying experiment is simply incredible. Check out the amazing effect that sound waves from this speaker have on a flowing faucet. The water is sent spinning off into the wild zigzag shapes. Yet vibrations and sound waves, wherever they are on Earth, seem to have an astonishing gravitational effect. What makes this experiment so cool? Well, sound waves are of course totally invisible to the naked eye, making it even more sensational to see water apparently behaving this way on its own accord. So what's the science behind it? In layman's terms, sound travels faster in the water than it does in the air, and the sound waves send the flowing water on a zigzag path instead of a straight line. Did you know that the speed of sound in pure water is 4,914 feet per second compared to the 1,125 feet per second in air? These crazy sound experiments definitely have us questioning everything we know. Cool, right? International Space Station. The original no-gravity zone. Astronauts have been showing us you can float in space since the earliest space trips. Now, while the International Space Station isn't technically on Earth, we do think that the fact that all the technology and features of the craft were constructed here on the planet and the astronauts that live on board are citizens of our world, and that means that ISS is a little slice of Earth right out there in space. While everything inside the International Space Station certainly looks familiar, there's one massive difference. That's right, there is no gravity. These awesome astronauts manage to live their lives as normal as possible out in space, even though they're floating weightlessly around the vessel. Yeah, these men and women aren't simply up in space for fun, they're actually working 9-to-5 jobs up on the ISS, as well as eating meals, showering, and exercising, all in zero gravity. Pretty impressive, right? That can't be easy. Imagine trying to do your job when you can't even sit still in one place. So what do you reckon? Would floating weightlessly be fun? Or would it get real annoying real fast? Tell us what you think in the comments. Now, while we're on the topic of zero gravity, let's move right on to our final topic. Zero gravity simulations. Just when you thought you never experienced the feeling of being in outer space, now there's a chance. Yet these simulations are created to help astronauts train, but that doesn't mean only astronauts can use them. In fact, anyone can experience the bizarre yet awesome feeling of true weightlessness, because now there are companies like the Zero Gravity Corporation offering a one-of-a-kind experience to the general public. Have you ever wanted to float around in the air? Well, now you can. So how does it work? Well, basically, they fly a specially modified Boeing 727, which performs an amazing aerobatic maneuver called parabolic arcs in order to create weightless environment that allows its passengers to float, flip, and soar as if they were in outer space. Yeah, it's true. You really can defy gravity right here on Earth. Not convinced? Dr. Buzz Aldrin, the Apollo 11 astronaut himself, even said it was exhilarating. It was great to experience both lunar gravity and weightlessness again. I hope that everyone interested in adventurous tourism and space will participate in this amazing opportunity. How awesome is that? Sign us up. Would you ever embark on a thrilling zero-G flight? Tell us in the comments. That was quite the trip. It's hard to believe that there are so many places on Earth where gravity doesn't seem to work at all. We don't know about you, but we've just added a whole bunch of new places to our bucket list. Which of these strange locations?
Asta a fost live-ul episod. Sper că v-a plăcut. Nu uitați să dați un like, să vă abonați la canal și ne auzim data viitoare. Pa!